Video on a Black Queen Sideshow Adam Hughes statue. Now, I've had this statue for a long time. I was going to put her up on eBay, but I always wanted to actually repaint her, but I never really did, and I think now is really a good time to put her on eBay and maybe do a little bit of custom work. The only custom work I really want to do is the spikes on her collar. I'm actually going to use the metal spikes that I have to put in place, so I took off the old plastic ones, and pretty much just going to do a repaint on her. It's going to be just basically skin tone. I'm going to do like a latex black outfit and then something a little bit more sprucing up the hair. And that's pretty much it. I'm not going to really touch the base or the sash or whip that she has. It's supposed to basically focus on the figure. So like I said, I'm not really going to explain everything that I do during the video. I'm going to explain it all now. So if you just want to skip all this explaining of the paint and stuff that I'll be using, you could fast forward to when I start doing it. You could sit back and just see the start to finish. I mean, it's not a bad paint up from the factory. It's one of the better ones. But I think right about now it'd be kind of fun to give it a little bit of a sprucing up and just seeing if, you know, maybe she turns out a little bit better. You know, give her like maybe a deeper red lipstick, maybe have the hair a little bit shinier and silky, and just run with it. But with these older statues, you really don't need to strip the paint and prime it up. If all these years she hasn't even cracked, it's a really good paint. It's almost like a primer onto the resin. Some statues do crack over time, like one of the biggest ones was the Sideshow Psylocke from you know, the premium format. That thing just keeps cracking because they never did any primer. But this paint of the older statue seems to have a lot of thick primer and then paint. So what I like to do is a friend from Jersey Fest actually told me about this, was this automotive primer adhesion promoter. It's like a clear primer basically. It's really good stuff, and I know a couple of other guys in the hobby use this. So what they do is, instead of doing a gray primer over the item, they just take this and they clear it, and there's a nice good bonding coat on there now, so all my paints will stick to it. And I've done this in the past too with certain items, and it works out great. So that's something just to think about. You know, if you get an item that's already painted but you want to just start painting right over it, maybe you're new to the hobby and you kind of want to see where colors are going when you start applying your colors, this kind of like Duplicolor clear primer stuff works great. It's not clear primer, but I call it that. So we're going to use a lot of Garage Kit colors. She's mostly going to be pale skin, so most of this is going to be like this pale flesh. But I always do a coat of regular Garage Kit flesh because that bonds a little bit better. Probably use a lot of virgin flesh too, transparency, because it'll give her that like paleness look. Of course, we got some, you know, transparent bright flesh. We got some transparent pale flesh. Transparency of flesh wash from P3. We got some, what is this, the golden burnt sienna, and then that's pretty much a lot of the skin tones. And then once the skin tones is done and it's all sealed up, I'll go on to the outfit. And the outfit's basically just going to be a straight up Model Air black coat with some hints of the gun gray, and I'm going to clear coat it to make it look like that latex look. And then of course for the hair, we're going to probably be mixing up some reds, oranges, and some of this Auto Wear metallic gold to give it that, you know, like silkiness look, and that's pretty much what I'm going to run with. Of course, the Archer Fine Transfer for the eyes, and the hardest part of this whole statue, it's really not that hard because it's just mostly skin and black. The only problem is going to be masking and stuff, but that's really not the issue. The main issue is this right here, which is the cleavage. Now, this piece right here going down, basically the straps, that's kind of like glued in at the end. What they do is, I think they paint the item and then they take this little piece and they glue it in. Of course, if I put it in acetone, it might pop out, but we're not going to really do that. So it's just a matter of, I'll have to hit a lot of flesh in there, and then when I go to paint it up, I'm going to have to kind of tweak it. So I'm not going to be able to get the paintbrush all behind it, but it'll work out fine in the end. It'll look a little bit better than what it is now. And that's pretty much one of the hardest parts. You know, as you can see right now, some of these laces, it's just black paint. That's all it is. It's not really like a black latex look, and then maybe they did some kind of like a different lacing look. It's just pretty much skin tone, black, and that's it. There's nothing else to it, as you can see. So I'm just going to run with it. I'm just going to have some fun with this, and it's just one of these items that I just want to get done, throw on eBay, and fun. The reason why I'm doing this too is I'm actually painting up some other skin tone items, so I figured, you know what, this would be a great opportunity to throw it into the mix, and I could kind of work on this a little bit here and there. This is something I'm doing later at night when everything else is done. So right now it's a good opportunity for me just to do the skin tone tonight, and then keep plugging away and get it done. So that's pretty much the breakdown, and let's just get on with the video.
The whole world at our feet, watching seasons change. Our roads were lined with adventure, mountains in the way couldn't keep us from the sea. Here we stand open arms, this is home where we are, ever strong in the world that we made. I still hear you in the breeze, see your shadow
Alright guys, so Black Queen is all done, and I had a lot of fun with this one. It was a fairly quick paint up. As you can see, I did some detailing off camera as much as I could, because I just can't film all that stuff. You know, I have to get in close to the statue. Like, you know, I put the metal spikes on her neck piece. You can see on her corset, the ropes, I kind of did more of a flatter dark gray. And I also did paint the flower on the back of her hand. So you guys can see how that came out. So I did a little bit of, like, you know, kind of a pinkish tips to the flower. And pretty much just straight up repaint. And just wanted to make her pop a little bit more. So you got a nice latex outfit on her that's shiny, but the cloak that she would be wearing that goes around her is flat from the factory. So it adds a little bit of a variation instead of trying to make everything super shiny. And we'll get a little bit closer for you guys. So, I did go a little bit trashier with the makeup. I thought it'd be a little bit more fun to add a little bit, you know, more on the eyeshadow, give her more blush, make the lipstick pop a little bit more. And I think with the metal spikes too, it really kind of gives her that, you know, trashy, sexy look. And of course, you know, flesh tones makes it pop a little bit more. She's not just that factory kind of virgin white flesh flat, and it's got a lot more color to her now. And I think shining up the outfit too really makes it pop. So something a little bit different. Like I always tell people, you know, it's an older statue, came out years ago. There's what, I would say there's a couple thousand of them out there. Some of them might be broken, you know, it's the same paint from the factory over and over like 1,000 or 2,000 times. So there's one out there now where she's a little bit trashier looking, a little bit more, you know, outfits shinier, flesh tones brought out a little bit more. You know, it might not be everybody's cup of tea that I don't like the makeup, I don't like the way she looks, and other people might like it. So that's the fun thing about these statues, especially older statues. You can take them, you can redo them, you can, you know, change them up. Maybe you love the statue, but you don't like the factory paint up. You know, you want to give her more of a subtle look of, you know, makeup. Maybe you don't like the hair and you want to screw sculpt the hair, but you like the outfit. You know, there's just tons of things you can do with these older statues, and I'm just kind of having fun with them. So this one I'll probably have to throw up on eBay. I got to pay for some of my other items I'm working on, like I said. But it was a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys like the whole semi-fast work in progress video, so you guys can get an idea of how it all works out without me explaining it all. Maybe I'll do some more of these videos down the line with stuff that I've already done, that you can see the whole process, and then I can show you the final statue instead of there explaining it all. But there you go, Black Queen painted up, a little bit more trashy looking, and hopefully you guys like it. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back with some more videos.